Carla Flayatu, good evening, and here's our news bulletin for tonight. Firstly, Niue is strengthening its preparedness for El Nino, with government, community leaders and key stakeholders coming together yesterday for the country's first National Climate Outlook Forum at Scenic Matavai Resort. The forum is focused on helping people understand climate information and how it can be used to make decisions at home, in communities and across different sectors. Niue Meteorological Service Director Rosie Misiapo says the goal is to bring climate science down to a level people can use in their everyday lives.
But the user interface platform is how are we going to use the information that is given from Met Service to you as the end user. You are the end user. What will you do with the information? How will you plan for your family or for your sector? And what are the kind of products that you are going to use? For example, we have a Niue Climate Outlook newsletter. And within that newsletter, it tells you about the status of ENSO and the current status of ENSO for Niue. And it also explains to you what the weather conditions has been for the previous month. And there's also what is called a early action rainfall watch, EM watch, that tells you that it's going to be dry in the next 3 months. And then the next 12 months. So we provide you the information and the support to let you know that it's going to be dry from now onwards until October. And keeping in mind that that's our rainy season.
For Niue, that could mean understanding how drier conditions may affect water, supplies, agriculture, fishing, or even traditional activities and resources relied on by families. During the forum, Rosie was asked what the user interface means in practical terms.
How will you use it to plan for your forest activities? For example, does it affect the pandanus trees, leaves, or shades, the hihis that women collect? Has it been a good productive season for hihi lately because there's been lack of rainfall, it's rainfall? So those are the kinds of impacts that we need to drill down. Because at the moment it's still hard, it's still high up here. So we need to help you and to come down to like the flow-on effect of the warm temperatures down to right down to the very level and right down to how you practically use it as an everyday person.
The workshop is also supporting the development of Niue's first ENSO directive, a card to help coordinate responses to El Nino and La Nina.
Climate information is only valuable when it is understood, communicated effectively and acted upon. The success of our national preparedness efforts depends on the collaboration between science, policy, and community action. No single agency can address climate challenges alone. Strong partnerships and coordinated planning are essential for building a climate-resilient Niue.
Australia's High Commissioner Paul Harrington and New Zealand Deputy High Commissioner Carleen Snesby joined government representatives, community leaders and stakeholders at the forum. With El Nino developing across the Pacific, the aim is to ensure Niue is better prepared, from government planning right through to families and communities. The forum is supported by the Pacific Regional Environment Program, SPREP, through its Climate and Ocean Support Program in the Pacific, COSPEC 3, and the Republic of Korea Pacific Islands Climate Prediction Services Program. The Niue Ocean-wide Trust, known as NOW, is also hosting a workshop focused on strengthening how Niue collects and uses information about its ocean.
The workshop brings together the Global Ocean Accounts Partnership, the University of New South Wales, Niue government departments and other national partners. The focus is on ocean accounting, bringing environmental, social and economic information together to help decision makers better understand Niue's ocean. Opening the workshop was Honourable Mona Ainu, Special Envoy for Oceans to the Prime Minister of Niue, who highlighted the importance of good information in supporting the protection and management of Niue's ocean. Participants are also looking at information already available across government departments and how we can be better organized and connected. The workshop aims to help Niue better understand its ocean and use that information to make informed decisions about its future.
A proud moment for Niue at the 2026 Pacific Music Awards with Niuean artist Taonipuna Lakatani alongside Malcolm Lakatani and Pacific Kids Learning, taking home the Pacific Media Network Best Pacific Language Award. And here's the story.
And the winner of the Pacific Media Network Best Pacific Language Award is... I announce it. Taonipuna Lakatani, Malcolm Lakatani, and Pacific Kids Learning.
The group was recognized for the Niue language songs Ulihenga and Vivela Mai Hela, celebrating Niue's language and culture through music. The award was presented at the Pacific Music Awards in Auckland on Wednesday night, where Pacific artists from across Aotearoa and the wider region gathered to celebrate Pacific music and identity. For Niue, the winner is another proud recognition of the island's language and creative talent on the wider Pacific stage. Congratulations to Taonipuna Lakatani, Malcolm Lakatani, and the Pacific Kids Learning on their Pacific Music Award.
Oe tulau, oe tulu ke hatua. Oh, this is a surprise for me and my children. I'm sorry that Dad can't make it tonight and the rest of the family, but I'm happy and I have all the privileges to thank each and everyone.
A consultation workshop was held earlier this week with Niue's village councils and key stakeholders focusing on strengthening local poultry and egg production. The workshop is part of a food and agriculture organization's project aimed at improving food and income security in Niue. Here's the story. Village councils and stakeholders gathered at Matawai Resort earlier this week to discuss the future of poultry production in Niue. The consultation is being supported by the Food and Agriculture Organizations, or FAO, in partnership with the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries. The focus is on identifying the needs of local poultry farmers and finding ways to support egg production in Niue.
FAO and with the collaboration of DEF, they're just doing an assessment, a consultation today just to get an overview of interested poultry farmers here in Niue, of what are the needs and what can we as a department and the FAO can do to address those needs.
Poultry production is seen as an important source of food and income for families providing both eggs and meat.
Poultry production is very important because it provides us with meat and also for eggs for our livelihoods.
Under the project, FAO will also provide some assistance to farmers, including equipment such as feeders and drinkers, as well as looking at feed requirements.
Yes, FAO will be providing some assistance, but I think it's through feeders and drinkers, and also they'll be having a look at the feed as well.
The workshop is also being used to assess how many farmers may take part and what support will be needed as the project moves forward. The consultation is expected to help shape future support for poultry farmers across Niue, with village councils playing a key role in identifying local needs. Niue is now under a blue alert for drought with very dry conditions expected to continue. Authorities are urging residents to conserve water and take care with outdoor fires. And here's the story.
The National Disaster Management Office says Niue has experienced very dry conditions over the past few months, with rainfall well below normal and temperatures higher than usual. Residents are being advised to use water wisely, including checking for leaks and avoiding unnecessary water use. Authorities are also warning against open burning, as dry conditions could allow fires to spread quickly. The public is reminded to follow updates from the Niue Disaster Management Office.
And that's our news bulletin for tonight. And don't forget to join the Tamagotonga Village Show Day on Saturday. Until then, good evening.